Allow me to welcome all of you to the newest addition to Numerator's Data Debrief content collection. My name is Keelan Trent, a marketing analyst here at Numerator. And whether or not you've been previously acquainted with this data format, or this is your first time engaging with these videos, I'm excited to guide you through the next few minutes. As this content format expands, it's becoming increasingly important that we not only key in on those supplementary topics like holidays that we've touched on before, but also the dynamic shifts we see on a day-to-day across the industry. Today, we'll be addressing just that type of subject, infant formula and all the baggage that's come with it in the recent months. While many parents struggle to find shelves stocked with formula that they need for their children, some brands are still seeing elevated sales and trips. So, with supply shortages, nutritional issues, and shifting share, the category is as dynamic as it's ever been. And whether you're a formula shopper, a retailer, a brand, or manufacturer, how can Numerator help you more completely understand the issue and help guide your thinking moving forward? To set the tone for what you can expect from the next few minutes, we have a complementary, three-pronged approach to tackle the issue at hand. Utilizing Numerator insights, we'll look at the overall category trends in infant formula and talk to some factors that have contributed to this broad and deeply important shopping problem. Alongside this, Numerator TrueView helps flesh out the story even further, looking at some of the key players in this top-heavy category and highlighting some noteworthy share of sales pivots at the top. And finally, we can more or less complete the picture utilizing incredibly powerful survey insights from recent formula buyers, understanding not only the pain points that sales figures can't give you, but also guiding sentiment on what people are feeling moving forward. Infant formula, like many categories, was subject to an initial COVID-related demand boom back in the early spring of 2020. Sales figures climbed and immediately fell to lows as lockdowns and pandemic concerns set in. Consumers seemed to have ridden out their stockpiles as their kids aged out of formula until a new problem presented itself. New parents in need of baby formula came knocking. January and February 2022 saw shopping trips to purchase formula climb 10% higher than that of the same period in 2020, and even 6% higher than pre-pandemic figures. Sales mirrored that growth until a tipping point was reached where demand outpaced supply and many parents were left scrambling to find a way to meet their young child's needs. And unfortunately, the issue was further exacerbated outside of just manufacturing mishaps, as one of the largest brands in the category had a large-scale recall that changed the entire landscape. Prior to the recall, Similac was the leader in the category at over 40% share of sales and was one of two parent brands that accounted for over 80% of the share of the entire infant formula category. After they began to pull their product back off the shelves, their share plummeted to 28% as Infamil, the other end of that previous 80%, jumped in to claim almost 50% of total share in the month of March. Gerber, a smaller brand, had marginal share gain that month as well. This not only reframed the state of the entire infant formula category as a whole, but also consumer trust, behavior, and sentiment about the products that they buy. Almost 2/3 of recent formula buyers have general safety concerns in regard to the manufacturers producing baby formula. 2 in 5 are concerned about the decreased quality of their future purchases, and over 3 in 4 said that they were willing to switch from their usual infant formula brands in order to meet their needs. And the current state of things has been challenging to say the least. Over 8 in 10 formula shoppers have had difficulties finding and purchasing their products recently. To account for this difficulty, their shopping habits have had to change in order to help meet the need for a product that's fairly non-negotiable for most. Over half were flexible with shopping location, either visiting more locations of their preferred store or even opting for retailers that they typically wouldn't use. Roughly a third paid a premium for the formula that they did find, and the same amount drove long distances in order to find it. Additionally, almost half have opted to shop online, and that's echoed in the panel data, where online trips were up 38% the past 3 months in comparison to the previous 3 months. This overwhelming majority is not struggling due to lack of effort. However, once again, the somewhat concerning figure is that 79% are highly concerned about the future availability of formula, indicating that these shoppers aren't expecting their habits to be able to change anytime soon. But the bus doesn't just stop at availability of formula, and interesting trends emerge when broken out by the current age of a formula shopper's child. Prices climbing significantly is the pinnacle of worry for parents of all ages. Parents of older children have less general concern about most long-term issues, considering that their children are potentially aging out of formula somewhat soon. However, the really compelling point comes from those parents of younger children, aged newborn to 3 months. These consumers are more likely to have elevated concern relating to health and wellness of their children. These parents over-index in their concern for medical, dietary, and nutrition deficiencies, as well as worry about adverse reactions to any brand or formula substitutes they may provide for their children. And considering the previous figures of those willing or needing to try new brands of formula, this could be a growing issue. So brands and manufacturers need to be keen to understand that while the shortage could be an issue resolved in time, it's even more critical to understand that consumer trust isn't just something that can be restocked. Now, data debriefs are a staple when it comes to a surplus of information in a compact time frame. But luckily, we have a full complement of content on our site. Whether you're itching to see how inflation is impacting consumer sentiment, how a specific channel is performing across income levels, or wanting to dive into the deeply fascinating shifts in the private label space, there's that and so much more on our website, and I highly encourage you to check it out. Also, we'd love to hear from you at hello@numerator.com if you're interested in how we can help you with any custom work you have going on. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to you joining us for the next Data Debrief. Take care.